Good morning, folks. Awaken, rise and shine. This is my channel, Awakening Israel, and we lead the day with Awakening Israel this morning. This is Friday the 13th, which is an excellent number. Yes, there were 13 tribes. Israel adopted his two grandsons as his own boys, which gave him a total of 13. Manasseh and Ephraim. Don't like the glare on the screen today, but I think I'm kind of stuck with it. I'll see if I can get rid of some of it here. All right, that does take care of it. We have an important subject today. One of the bishops passed away, and the Vatican's coming apart. Just relax about it, though. It's no big deal. The big deal is if they stop digging into their own affairs and if they fail to clean house. By the end of this particular transmission, you will know that the Antichrist that was referred to at the time the Bible was written was to become the Roman Catholic Church, which claim to fame is synergistic, synergy, in which it incorporates the odd beliefs of all the people it seeks to assimilate. Talk about the Borg. It is definitely the Borg system. But let's go right to the very beginning. Acts 8, Simon Peter, Petar, Petar, who's also known as Simon the Sorcerer of Acts 8, was the first bishop of Rome. And they hauled him, and I don't know why, they decided to crucify him. And he, being the trickster he was, the magic magician, he fooled them all. He knew that it was going to be an agonizing death, and in order to escape that agonizing death, he talked them into crucifying him upside down. So it was a rather quick death and nowhere near as painless as the upright crucifixion. And it is his body that's buried beneath St. Peter's in the Vatican. Where did this come from? My information came from Dr. Ernst Martin at Ask. What's that called? Scriptural Association for Scriptural Knowledge, Ask. He published several books, and he was writing articles for a magazine, and he published an odd number, like 3 or most likely 5, and he didn't finish them before he passed away. And he basically revealed what he had discovered from his careful reading of the scriptures. Number 1, Simon Peter, the apostle that is, Peter, Simon Peter never made it to Rome. It was Simon Magnus, Simon the Sorcerer, or as Pastor Jerry Wickey loved to affectionately call him, Simon Maggot, ended up in Rome. And I do have some of the articles of Ernst Martin. I have not put them up. I should give his widow a call, see if it's okay that I do that. I don't know if Ramona is still alive these days. She was wondering why I was calling her, and I was calling her annually. Didn't have any more books to buy, and she thought it was kind of odd. She's really old school. I know you think I'm old school, but I got news for you. She's old school. Just to give you an idea of how precious she is and how innocent she is, she told me she cussed once. And she went into the story and told me. Do you know what cussing was for Mrs. Ramona Martin? Ernst Martin's wife, his widow? She was shocked and said, "Oh my gosh!" That was swearing to her. Explosion of emotions. And, just think about how innocent that sounds today, especially when I consider my own language. It's like nothing. But she thought that was cussing, and so she's of the old school. very reserved, nice lady. And I called her to talk to her. I figured that she probably didn't get many phone calls and probably was a bit isolated. And she was happy to talk to me at first, and at the end, there, she wanted to know why I was still calling her, and I just didn't. I don't know. I just didn't have it in me to tell her that, hey, you're a widow, and I'm just going to reach out, check on you, see how you're doing. Now I got an excuse to call her. I'll call her again here today. So, your Roman Catholic Church was founded upon Simon the Sorcerer of Acts 8. How do you feel about that? The Universal Church, which is nowhere near as equivalent as the Orthodox Church, the Greek Orthodox Church, the Russian Orthodox Church. They've carried on the traditions far more. Even in the symbols of the temples, if you will, the churches that were in Greece, they had Yahshua, Jesus, on the dome, giving a particular hand gesture of blessing. And that same hand gesture was mirrored by one of the 10 gurus in Sikhism at a much later date. There's something about that particular gesture that I don't understand. I just know that it's very unique. I know somebody's going to say it's a Masonic symbol or whatever. There's all kinds of symbols out there, or all kinds of meaning attributed to different things every day. So I just think it's important that you know that when they talked about the Antichrist being present at the time the Gospels were written, they're referring to Simon Magus. They're referring, and I believe, my take on it is the Antichrist has a twofold properties. Is twofold. First, it is a corporation, and that being physically manifested in the Roman Catholic Church out of the Vatican. The second is an individual, and this man eventually will be marched out before the peoples of the world for everyone to see, and they will marvel at him and say, this is the man who deceived the world? So I think we're going to be seeing that, and I don't think it's going to be that far in the future. You're going to want to catch my other channel, because I'm going to go into the grand clocks, and I'm going to be talking about stuff that's almost strictly scriptural. And if those people can't tolerate it, well, fine. They don't have to watch it. They can unsubscribe. That's fine. But you need to know I'm going to be covering something in the Dr. Kent show this morning that you're going to want to hear about. And I'm going to put it on those folks over there with the idea that they might actually get shaken up by all this enough to start reading the Bible, to start looking at things differently. May Yahweh bless. That's all I got for you today. I think this is number 26. Yahweh bless. Friday the 13th, 2023.